Hi, I'm Kristin Omdahl and welcome back to my studio. In this video, I want to show you some tips and tricks for getting started making one of the projects from my brand new book, 24 Crochet Hats, Interesting Techniques and Inclusive Sizing for Men, Women, Children, and Babies. Let's get started. This is the Josette single crochet hat. Single crochet, when worked in the round, has a beautiful, sophisticated texture. This unisex design looks great on everyone. The pattern is sized for babies, kids, women, and men, and is worked in the round from the top down, making it a great Zen project. You will need number 2 sport weight yarn. This is shown in Be So Sporty yarn, which is number 2 sport weight, 100% bamboo fiber. This is color gold. You will also need a size H8 5mm crochet hook or whatever size needed to obtain the gauge. The finished sizes in this pattern include sizes 15-inch, 18-inch, 21-inch, and 24-inch hat circumference. The Josette hat is worked from the top down, from the crown, and we start by working an increasing motif for the crown, and then we work even in pattern for the walls of the hat, and then at the end I'll show you how to do the really simple but beautiful brim. Okay, so you want to start by tying your yarn to your crochet hook and then chain 2. And round 1 is to work 6 single crochets in the second chain from your hook. You don't count the loop on your hook. That's the working loop, so we'll count back 1, 2. Single crochets, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through both loops on your hook. That's 1 single crochet. We're going to do that a total of 6 times in this same chain. We're going to be working in a spiral, not joining at the end of the round. So even though we've worked all the way around, we're not going to slip stitch to the first stitch at the beginning of the round. We're just going to continue in the spiral. If you ever are confused about which stitch is the first stitch, you can always count back from the last one. We made 6 stitches, so if we count back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you'll see that this is the stitch here. Sometimes that extra chain can fool you into thinking it's a stitch when it really isn't. It's just a chain. Okay, so round 2 now begins with 2 single crochets in the first stitch, and actually we're going to work 2 single crochets in each stitch around. So you insert your hook into the stitch and work 2 single crochets in the same stitch, and we'll repeat that all the way around. You should have 12 single crochets at the end of round 2. This is what your work should look like at the end of round 2, and you should have 12 stitches. Round 3, we're going to work 2 single crochets in each stitch around again and not join, work in the spiral again. So it's 2 single crochets in each stitch around for a total of 24 stitches at the end of round 3. If you're having a hard time keeping track of the beginning and end of each round, since we're working in a spiral, not joining the rounds, you could add a stitch marker to help you remember where the beginning and end of the rounds are. And you would just want to move this up as you go. Okay, so this is what our work should look like at the end of round 3. We now have 24 stitches. Round 4 begins with 2 single crochets in 1 stitch, and then 1 single crochet in the next stitch. And so our repeat for this round is 2 single crochets in 1 stitch, and then 1 single crochet in the next stitch. And you want to repeat that all the way around. This is what your work should look like at the end of round 4. You should have 36 stitches. Round 5 begins with 2 single crochets in 1 stitch, and then 1 single crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. Our repeat for round 5 is 2 single crochets in 1 stitch, and then 1 single crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. You want to repeat that all the way around. At the end of round 5, you should have 48 stitches. This is what your work should look like at the end of round 5. You should have 48 stitches. You want to continue in this established pattern, increasing by 12 stitches each round for as many rounds as necessary for whichever size you're making. The pattern will tell you specifically how many rounds of this increasing section to do for each size. And then after that, you want to work even in the round for the walls of the hat. So working even in the round, well, in the spiral actually, means just working one single crochet in each stitch around. And in the walls of the hat, that section of the pattern will also tell you how long to work even in the round until you reach the desired height of the hat. Then it's time to work the brim. And let me show you the brim on this hat. The brim is worked with back post stitches, and that's what gives you this beautiful texture along the edge. So the first round of the brim starts with a back post single crochet. Because we're working from a spiral, we need to gradually increase the height of our stitches to get to where we need to be. So the first stitch is a back post single crochet, which means you insert your hook from the back to the front to the back around the post of the next stitch. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Then it's back post half double crochet, which is yarn over, insert your hook from around the post of the next stitch from back to front to back, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on your hook. Then our next stitch is back post double crochet, yarn over your hook, insert your hook from back to front to back around the post of the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2 loops on your hook, and you'll see we're starting to get that texture of the top of the stitch facing forward. That's what you're seeing on the brim here. It's that top of the stitch that ends up being pulled forward like that, which is so pretty. Okay, so the rest of round 1 of the brim is to continue working back post double crochet in each stitch around. And then for rounds 2 and 3 of the brim, you're going to want to repeat back post double crochet in each stitch around. On the very last round, you'll want to replace the last 2 stitches with back post half double crochet and back post single crochet to bring our spiral back down to that graduated shorter edge. Then you'll slip stitch to join and fasten off. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions at all, please leave them for me in the comments. And everything we talked about today is linked in the video description below. Let us make time to create, share, and inspire today and every day. I'll see you in the next video.